Happy holidays, Fairfield.
I won't blow in mine.
Okay. Okay, so we kind of go a little crazy, but I'm Susan Kessel with Fairfield Public Access Television. You're watching Fairfield TV, and Connie Boyer and I are here today to do our Opening Fairfield Doors show.
And we're ready to start the new year.
Yes, sponsoring our show today is FPAC TV.
And our mission statement, you want me to share that?
Yes.
Our mission statement is, by opening the doors into the lives of the people and places in Fairfield, we will strive to promote awareness, appreciation, and understanding of one another.
Yes, we finally, after about a year, you have that down. I don't, but you do. So we're here today to talk about celebrating New Year's. And we have with us special guest, Lisa Greenig. And we're going to talk about all kinds of things connected with New Year's Day. Like I said, I tend to go a little bit all out in celebrating. And the big millennium, although my husband would say it's not really the millennium until a year from now.
Next year.
Do you find that true, that people are saying that?
I haven't heard that.
You haven't?
Not recently.
Have you heard that?
I've heard that.
Yeah, that we shouldn't be celebrating so big until next year. So we can celebrate all year long, I suppose.
Or two big
years in a row.
Yeah, 2 big years in a row.
Right.
Let's go for that.
Yeah. And I know that, Connie, you at the bank, at Iowa State Bank, you've been in charge of some of the Y2K details.
Yes, and we're winding it down and fine-tuning the last details, you might say. And our schedule will be in there all weekend, off and on.
You will be at the bank.
Yes, we will be. And we are going to start on Friday night late afternoon, I should say, and go over our weekend plans with the people that will be there. And we'll start watching the news reports of, the places that are hours ahead of us to make sure everything's rolling okay.
Oh,
and then we'll be in there later in the evening to watch the date change over. So, and then we'll be in also on the weekends to check programs, verify integrity of the dates and the PCs and, everything that's running. So it'll be a busy weekend for us.
Yes. And I never thought of that if you could check with the places that are ahead of time to see how that's going, you'll have a clue.
Yeah. So as long as CNN and NBC and all the major networks are running, we'll be able to see what's happening.
Okay. So as far as plans for the holiday?
Well, I don't have a lot of plans, to tell you the truth. I've got, about a 3-hour slot that maybe I can celebrate a little bit. So maybe 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. That might be a stretch. 3 or 4 hours, maybe. So right now, I don't have any plans.
Okay. Well, to help you, I've given you, this is a holiday gift for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I thought it would be fun to put it in this Millennium hat. And there's just some goodies in here, some candles, just in case.
Oh, that's really sweet, Susan.
A little 2000 ornament, which I had real fun finding these things. And I couldn't forget this summer when we played golf.
We're creating a history together here.
We played in the women's blast-off, and I was driving the cart when someone hit a golf ball and full force got you right in the side and the chest. Yeah. So this is a phantom golf ball. It's now you see it, now you don't. Vanishes on impact. So.
That's the kind of golf ball we need.
Yeah, more people should use those. And there's some other little surprises in here.
Well, thank you very much.
Also,
really sweet.
I thought it would be fun this year for gifts to include some fun New Year's things. So even when you're at the bank, you can do these. And
you
you're
have
all
noisemakers.
set. Yes,
Great. Thank you very much. Well, I guess I'm ready now, and I have a plan.
Okay. And Lisa, do you have plans for the holidays?
We're attending a wedding and a reception out at Walton Club. And then our church is putting on a family fun night of games and activities, and then we're going to have a New Year's Eve midnight service to ring in the new year.
That's really nice. What church is
First
doing
Baptist
this?
Church.
And that's going to be at their church?
Mm-hmm. That's at our church on East Broadway, across from the post office.
That sounds like a fun family type event.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we could talk a little bit about remembering things, talking about family events, things maybe you had a special New Year's that you remember, or different things we've done.
Well, as I was growing up, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's was always spent at my grandmother's house. She cooked the meal and all the extended family came in. And after the huge dinner of turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and cabbage on New Year's Eve, you have, or excuse me, on New Year's Day, you have to eat cabbage so that you have prosperity in the year. That's one of those myths. I don't know, it doesn't seem to work for me, but
I'm afraid not to have it.
That's exactly right. It could be a lot worse, so we're going to eat it. After the dinner, the guys would watch football and fall asleep. And the kids would go in the basement, and we always played tag with a rolled up little piece of tinfoil.
Oh.
That's what we used to do.
Oh, okay. I remember when I was growing up, my mother, we lived in California in the Los Angeles area, and my mother was worked at restaurants, and so New Year's Eve was always a big night for her, and I wouldn't see her, but I do know that when she came home, she had things like this for me and hats, and I just loved getting those. She would bring home, you know, leftovers, and that was always fun. So that's, I think, one of my first memories of New Year's. Do you have a first memory?
First memory, I grew up out in Rhode Island, away from all of my grandparents and things. So my dad was a Navy man. So the holidays for us, we had 7 kids, and we would always dress up for the holidays even though we weren't going to Grandma's house, and had to sit at the dining room table, and we had the fine china just for the family, and oftentimes we would invite friends over to share with us, because anybody from a large family knows you don't get invited out for dinner very often to someone else's house. So we always had a full meal, just like Connie, and you had to have the cabbage to have the good luck for the
I
year.
wonder where that tradition started, because we
I
did
don't
that
know.
too.
Yeah.
I think there's some other foods that you're supposed to eat though too, aren't there?
Aren't you supposed to have a bean? Some beans of some sort?
We've gotten to go along with the cabbage corned beef. We have to have corned beef now, but there's no reason behind it except that it goes good with cabbage. But I hadn't heard the bean thing.
I'd like a green bean or a 3-bean casserole salad or something.
Okay, maybe that'll be the magic touch that we'll have to add this year, is the beans. So, what else have we done for New Year's?
Well, there's always dressing up and dancing. That's always very fun.
That's true.
And I always say, as adults, there's no place to go and dress up. I mean, no big parties like, the high school kids have the prom, and I'm always a little envious every year because they get to wear these fancy dresses, And actually, a couple of years ago, we did go out dancing, and I had a nice dinner at our house, and I wore one dress for the dinner, and then we went out to the couple of dances, so I changed dresses. So I can enjoy 2 dresses.
That is like high school.
So you don't have that opportunity very often. So I kind of took advantage of it, you might say.
So maybe part of our entire 2000 celebration, we should have an adult prom this year.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I would like to organize for Fairfield a Millennium party, maybe in warmer weather would be nice.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I should mention that we're here at your store, which is Party Goods and More, and it is during business hours, so we have customers coming in and out, which is great.
Very good.
Yes. Going back to ways that we've spent New Year's, I think one of my favorite was a murder mystery party. Actually, we hosted one time, and a neighbor hosted one that we went to for New Year's, and if you've never been to a murder mystery party, it's lots of fun. You can buy kits. This one's called A Taste for Wine and Murder. Would make a nice gift, I think, for someone also. And it has invitations, it has parts, you're assigned parts, and you dress up to go along with your part.
So do you tell the person ahead of time what their part is so they can come dressed in the part?
Their invitation you mail to them tells them their part. It describes maybe how they should dress if they're a young person, old person. And then when you come to the party, it also gives you a menu lots of times of what to have. It has sometimes a cassette or a CD that plays, sets the theme for the party, and then you each have things that you're supposed to clues you're supposed to present throughout the evening. And it just kind of flows. And by the end of the evening, and you do it maybe course by course with the food. And by the end of the evening, you figure out who the murderer was. And so they're lots of fun, and they're all different kinds of themes. There's Western themes, and
there's a pasta, pistols, and passion.
We went to a Japanese one, and the one we hosted was a cruise ship, a wine one on a cruise ship. So those are a fun way, and we have done that before, so that's a great idea, especially if you're staying home. A lot of people are afraid to go out or too far away from home this year.
Getting a lot of comments from people that they're staying locally just in case.
Just in case. Talking about locally, I did call, if you don't want to stay at home and you're a member of a club in town, I know that the Elks Club, I talked to them, and they're having at 9 p.m., they're starting their celebration, which will be a dance, and they're going to have the boot rockets, and they'll have party favors, and then they'll have a breakfast following early morning. I'm not sure what time, but
they're doing an all-night thing, huh?
yeah, or into the morning thing. I'm not sure, but that sounds like fun. And I did call Walton Club, and they said they're hosting a wedding, which you're going to be there.
Yes.
And that's an exciting time to get married, I think.
It is, and some of their favors are some silver bells to ring in the new year with, and they will have a dance as well that will last until after midnight. So they'll be there ringing in the new year.
So who are these lucky people? Do we want to share with the world who these lucky people are?
It's Lee Muntz's daughter, Jenny, and Mike Rowe.
A wonderful celebration, and she will remember this date.
I think so.
And her husband will too, hopefully.
Yes, always. No excuse there. And the Walton Club also said that they are open to the public, and you can have dinner, and the lounge area is open. Then we got a flyer about the Country Club, and I know the Country Club has a big celebration. It's called the Party of the Century, and black tie prohibited, as party favors and champagne and snacks, and a surprise midnight buffet. And they're having a band, Cheryl Payne and the Sound Company, and that starts at 9. So there are lots of things going on. Someone was talking about a Millennium Masquerade somewhere in town.
I don't know all the details, but I do know out at MUM on New Year's Eve, they are having a masquerade dance with
that sounds like
costume and the masks and things. So they're looking forward to it.
A fun idea, and that's what I would like to help plan for Fairfield to do. Maybe.
I always wanted to wear one of those big, huge gowns like you see in the period piece movies, you know, and they have those masks on a stick and
or the silly soap operas.
Yes.
That I used to watch. Don't anymore. But, and they wear those masks, and you don't know who anyone is.
Yeah. From what I've been told, at this party, they're supposed to keep their masks on most of the night, so you probably won't see a whole lot on sticks. They'll have a lot with the elastic to keep them on, since they're not supposed to reveal their identity.
That sounds like
until the very end of the evening.
I don't know,
not
but
at all?
They probably till the end of the evening. I don't know. This is just from customers coming in and what I'm getting.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, that does. And also, in the area of fun, there's clothing nowadays. I mean, you see it everywhere, clothing. And so I was shopping late summer, and I found this in the Ozarks, and my friends, Jean Greco in particular, just teased me about this because she's one with my husband that's saying the millennium does not start until a year from now, and so she thought I fell for this, and she was right. But I also fell for this silly little pin somewhere else. So it seems like lots of people are jumping on that bandwagon.
Well, I did notice, we had to run up to Ottumwa this week, and I did notice in their stores there were several stores that still had Millennium sweaters, year 2000, and I thought,
It's going to be on sale.
they are going to need to sell those quickly, so.
But we can wear this all year long.
Yes,
Well,
that you
for
can.
another
You can wear that
1,000 years.
You can wear that to graduation parties for the class of 2000.
Oh, good idea.
All of this millennium stuff.
Good
you can,
idea.
Lots of use.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yes,
I hadn't thought about
perfect.
that.
Because, well, actually, when I bought this scarf, it doesn't say 2000 on it, so I'm in luck. I can just wear it to birthday parties and other things too, but I'm sure it was for the millennium.
You know, I'd like to mention that I heard on TV too this week that at Times Square in New York, they still have rooms available if you want to fly out there.
Really?
Yes, right
That's
next to.
amazing. I would
right,
think.
Right next to where the ball drops.
And how much per night?
I
per
don't
couple?
know that. I don't know that.
I did hear that a lot of hotels do have a lot of rooms and packages open, so they are dropping their prices because they haven't gotten the crowds they were hoping for.
That's
And I think,
surprising.
like you say, I think that's reflective of people staying home
Yes.
and staying
And travel,
close to home.
especially on airplanes, which we have some friends that we usually celebrate New Year's with the last several years. We kind of jokingly but half seriously said, well, let's get a jet and go to Chicago and have dinner. But I thought that was a little extravagant. And besides, I don't want to be on an airplane for New Year's. So I guess I won't be doing that. I'm not sure what we'll be doing. But if we're at home, I can use this salt and pepper shaker, which another little item. And my favorite item that I picked up is this Millennium globe, and it has things inside that float around. Plays this song. And I usually don't fall for items quite this big.
But it is 2000
But
and
silly
how
me,
often?
right. Also, I always send out New Year's cards and not Christmas cards. I think people have gotten away from Christmas cards a little bit. A little bit. And I certainly have.
I just try to get a card out. I mean, I have trouble with birthday cards.
I used to be really good at this, but the last 10 years I've changed to New Year's cards, and this year they actually have some real New Year's cards out. If you hunt hard enough that say Happy 2000, Happy New Year, they mention the millennium and things like that, so you can do that, have fun. And our church, St. Mary's, Father Page presented every parishioner with a calendar, which they do every year, but this one the Pope has designated as the Great Jubilee Year 2000. And this is always nice to get. And I use this one and I write things down. My whole schedule for the year gets written on this calendar. So, thank you, Father Page. Let's take a little break, and we're going to check out some of the other party things
Okay.
that we have to celebrate with. One of the first memories I have after being married was celebrating New Year's playing cards with my in-laws. You mentioned big families don't go out, and so they had a tradition staying home and doing family things, and so we went over and we would play cards. It was fun.
That's something that, you know, I've done in my lifetime too, is playing cards with friends and playing pitch at, 4 different tables, and the winners move up to the next table and the
yeah.
next table till you get a winner's table, and that's a lot of fun.
I think playing Trivia Pursuit and
Pictionary.
Pictionary, a new one that's lots of fun is Balderdash. Have you ever played Balderdash?
I have not played that game. I've
I've
seen
never
it
played
on
it.
the
You have
shelf.
got to play Balderdash. They give you words. They are real words, but they're words that you have never used, never heard of. And everybody gets the same word around the table. And you write a definition. And then the person that's doing it collects all the definitions they've written, plus the card with the real one. So this person reads all of these, including the real one. And then the people around the table have to guess. And it's ridiculous because
one's the right?
they are absolutely off the wall, crazy. It is so much fun. So check that out, Balderdash. It's fun.
Great game.
So if you're staying at home this year and you're going to have a party celebrating at home, there are all kinds of fun new things to do and to have. Something that I'm going to grab here, and this is a mask, like we were talking about a masquerade.
I think it's
And-
upside down, isn't it?
Oh, you know, I don't think it matters, does it?
You could probably wear it either way.
You're right. I'm going to buy this and I'll probably wear it upside down at home. But those would be fun to have, you know, on your table, maybe on the plates that you're serving from. I think that'd be great. Or just as a centerpiece to add it to your centerpiece. It'd be fun. I like to do things like that, decorate. And some of the other things here, Lisa, you were saying these glasses.
The champagne glasses. Yes, with the 2000 stem.
These are really fun,
Let's turn it.
so we can read it right. Those are really nice. And I think champagne for this New Year's, I've heard people worry about there being enough champagne. I know my husband's into wine and some friends are into champagne, and so they were buying it all year long thinking
really?
there was going to be a shortage. I don't think there was.
Well, and
There
I
is.
was mentioning to them when we had our little break that you can make non-alcoholic champagne with apple juice. And if anybody wants to, I don't remember what the recipe is and the measurements, but if anybody wants it, they can give me a call at home and I'll give it to
call
them.
you.
But it's, you know, I put it in a punch bowl and looks like champagne, it's bubbly, it's pretty, and it's non-alcoholic for those that don't drink any
And
alcohol.
it is always nice to have non-alcoholic for people coming to parties. That's really important, and it's also important to have designated driver.
Absolutely.
your
Let's
group.
remember that this
Absolutely.
year.
Yes. And talking about punch bowls, we're making Richard flip over here now. This is is it plastic?
It's a plastic punch bowl.
And it has a plate underneath.
Has a serving tray. And the plastic ladle.
And Connie and I were saying a lot of people don't have punch bowls, and so that's a good way to go.
That's a very great way to go. Real punch bowls aren't cheap to buy.
No,
so-
they're not.
And it's something you don't use that often. So if you don't have a real one, here's a nice substitute. I'd like to mention these little candles because I think these are really cute.
Those are actually floating candles.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
So you can use them as floaters or just on a doily or tray.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think that's really cute with small candles like this is to, when you set your table, is to put one at the top of the plate or right above the plate as a little an individual candle. But I must warn you that if you pass food or go to reach for things, you must be careful because 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I almost put myself on fire. In fact, my sweater did get on fire because I had these little Christmas trees at the plate, and I went to reach like this, and I thought, oh, my arm is getting hot. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm on fire. So you must be very careful if you do that. It sets a beautiful table, but beware.
Yes. Something that I grabbed off the display area is this garland.
The wire garland?
Wire garland. And it's got little stars in 2000s, and this one is in blue and silver. And this has so many purposes. I can't believe how many things you can think up for this stuff. Little kids can make little things to wear on their heads.
Halos.
I use it on packages and maybe to wrap. If you have a pair of candlesticks that you want to give someone, you could do a little twisty tie thing around that, around the sack handles of a gift, around napkins, make your own napkin
rings.
You could also just string it through the center of the table for centerpiece. You could hang it. What else can you do with this?
Pretty much anything.
Your imagination.
Everything and wear it.
Right. I've seen little girls' barrettes made with these in their hair. So this is a good thing, all-purpose thing that you want to keep on hand. Let's see, cameras.
Disposable cameras. Those are real popular at weddings anymore, or anytime you have a large gathering to set them on the table, and you just let your friends take the candid snapshots, and then you collect them, and you're surprised when they're developed.
That's
so
a great
any
idea.
party that
The first time I heard of that, our daughter Stacy was getting married, and someone mentioned that, and they weren't called a party cam, they were just a disposable, so they weren't this neat. And we set them on every single table at the reception with a little sign saying, please use this camera and take snapshots of different people. And those were the most fun pictures when I took them to be developed. We got pictures of all the crowd that we would not have gotten any other way.
Right. And they're inexpensive for children's birthday parties when the kids want to play grown up and take pictures, and you don't want to give them your camera to do it with.
Yes. A good stocking stuffer.
Yes, very good
I
stocking
think.
stuffer.
Or if you have someone going on a little trip or something. So this is a really fun idea. And I have to ask, the other day I was asking you, do you know what these are?
They look like napkin holders.
That's what I thought, napkin rings.
But they're not?
No.
It is metallic serpentine, and you see in the movies where they throw these curlies up in the air, or they hang them from the ceiling, it just looks like a curling ribbon, a wide ribbon.
It looks like metal, is it?
Well,
it's
it's the metallic. So it
Okay.
reflects light. And
Never even heard of a serpentine, but I know what you're talking about when you describe it.
that's what it is.
You see them on ships when the cruise is
Yes,
leaving.
yes. That's the round,
Not quite this nice.
curly things, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So these are another thing that you can get for your party.
That's a great idea.
You can lay them on the tables, you can hang them from the ceiling, you can
Okay.
be as creative with those as the wire garland.
Great. And of course, the hats. There are these kind of hats, and these are for men and women, right?
Yes.
Now that I
Yes.
have it on.
Here we
But
are.
I wouldn't particularly think that I would see a man wearing one like that. But maybe.
You never know.
Maybe at the end of the evening, just not the beginning.
Right, right.
What? Oh, here we go. Yeah.
These are
Just party hats, prismatic party hats, cone shaped.
cone-shaped little party hats.
those would look great sitting
Reflect
on
the light.
plates also for the table decorations.
These are all the same.
Yes.
Then I guess we have your kind of hat in blue and silver.
Yes, and other colors. And of course, there's always the paper plates and napkins and cups and silverware that make things really easy.
Makes cleanup really easy, and all the different colors available. You can pick a color theme and go with it.
And balloons.
Now,
2,000
sometimes-
balloons.
Lots of times I'll use my good dishes because I love dishes. But then maybe finish up with the paper products for dessert, or the people that are snacking in between, things like that. And there are the typical noisemakers. Now before, watch out cameraman with the hearing thing on. Let's see, there's all kinds of noisemakers available.
The star clappers. And just the wand clappers.
And the blowers. Okay. What else? I'll buy this one now.
Well, there's these little kind that I'm not going to blow because
And there are
It's
little glass
new.
ones.
what else do we have?
All kinds of fun ones.
Well, and we have
Oh,
these
yeah.
that you turn around Probably didn't hear me say that, but they turn around.
I've seen things that you pull and pop, also poppers.
The champagne poppers, we have some of those. The little.
In fact, I was looking in a magazine the other day, and I have to tell you about.
Like those?
Yeah.
That you pull the cord and they fly
and it makes
out?
a noise?
I haven't done
What
one.
flies
Maybe
out?
we should try one.
I'm going to get out of the way.
We'll let you imagine what this does, but fun little popper things. What I saw in a magazine the other day, and this was you could purchase them, but I think you could make them, and that was you take a little, say something like that, and a little piece of candy, and you take crepe paper and you wrap and wrap and wrap, and you layer in the crepe paper different things, little, I suppose like necklaces, you can buy little bead necklaces.
Little favors.
And little favors. And you keep wrapping and adding things until you get this big ball, and then you put a sticker on there like a Santa or a star or something and stick it, and then you use those for party favors. And I thought those would be a fun thing for kids to make.
It'd be fun discovering what was in the middle of it.
Yeah. Do they do that for Mardi Gras? Or what am I remembering? Something when I was little that you would unwrap and find things in. Maybe it was just a dream.
Oh, it's probably those strange California people.
Right. Yeah.
They do things differently out there.
Right. So I hope that, I know I'm looking forward to New Year's in the year 2000. I used to remember when I was in school and everybody used to think, now how old will I be in the year 2000? And I think, oh, that's so old.
It sounded so distant, didn't it?
Yes. And I still, even though we've been talking about it, I think when it gets here and we go to write it all the time, it's going to be a real change.
You have noticed new checks don't have 19 in the blank yet, haven't you?
No.
Have you ordered new checks recently?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so all kinds of things that we're used to are going to change.
There you go.
Change is good.
Right, it is good. And so we'd like to thank you for watching Opening Fairfield Doors. And thank you, Lisa Greenig, for sharing your store with us,
Thank
Party
you.
Goods and More, and showing us some of the new things that are out and fun. And I wish you a Happy New Year's at the bank. Happy Y2K.
And a smooth sailing weekend.
Yes.
And I think we wish for all the citizens of Fairfield a very wonderful new year, a prosperous and healthy new year, and a good year.
And I hope that we come up with some fun shows. If you're out there and have an interesting idea and would like to let one of us know, we'll certainly consider it, because you never know what we're going to do anyway. So, or if you'd like to sponsor a show, and this show was sponsored by FPAC TV. I guess that's all.
Let's make a toast, even though we don't have anything to
Toast.
sip it with.
Connie should have
To,
brought us some champagne. Yes. Some of her.
Toast to the new year.
Your globe.